Okay, guys, so I have this article for you from NBC News, and the headline reads: Men the Trump administration sent to El Salvador mega prison freed in prisoner swap. El Salvador released 200 Venezuelans held in a notorious prison in exchange for Venezuela freeing 10 American nationals and multiple political prisoners. Uh, and the article reads, excuse me, more than 200 Venezuelan immigrants whom the Trump administration had sent to a notorious mega prison in El Salvador have been flown to Venezuela. El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele said in a post on X. The move was part of a prisoner swap in which the Venezuelan government released a considerable number of Venezuelan political prisoners, as well as all the American citizens it was holding as hostages, Bukele said, in exchange for the Venezuelan nationals who had been imprisoned in El Salvador. In a post of his own, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Friday, quote, thanks to at POTUS's leadership, 10 Americans who were detained in Venezuela are on their way to freedom, end quote. The U.S. nationals were sent, sorry, the U.S. nationals were back in the U.S. as of Saturday night, according to a U.S. official. And they have a list of their names. They are Wilbert Joseph Castaneda, Jorge Marcelo Vargas, Lucas Hunter, Jonathan Pagan Gonzalez, uh, Ronald Oribio Quintana, Eric Oribio Quintana, Fabian Buglione Reyes, Renzo Humanchumo Castillo, Juan Jose Faria Brinson, and Danud Hanid Ortiz, according to another U.S. official. Rubio also praised Bukele for helping secure an agreement for the release of all of our American detainees plus the release of Venezuelan political prisoners. The Venezuelan immigrants were deported from the U.S. under the Alien Enemies Act. Sorry. The Venezuelan immigrants were deported from the U.S. under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, a rarely employed wartime law. The Trump administration has declared a Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, an invading force, and used the act to deport Venezuelan immigrants who it says have ties to the gang. More than 200 men, some of them asylum seekers, who said they were at risk of persecution in Venezuela, were sent to El Salvador's Terrorism Confinement Center, or CECOT, in March. Family members of several men believed to be held there have denied they had ties to the gang. They have pleaded for the men to be released from El Salvador's prison system, which is known for human rights abuses, and return to Venezuela. Okay, so I'm glad that this happened. Um, I'm glad that those. I'm glad that all of these people are free now. Well, at least some of them, right? Because as the article points out, a lot of them were fleeing Venezuela and were seeking asylum status. So, you know, could a lot of them potentially have been seeking protection from the Venezuelan government? Yeah, and could it be that now they're being, you know, transferred into the custody or the yeah, basically, could this be more of like an extradition for some of them than them being freed? Yeah, potentially, right? Now, that is concerning, right? If like some of them were legitimately like asylum seekers who had legitimate claims of persecution, and and they're just being returned to potentially a government that was persecuting them, that's concerning. Uh, Now, for most of them, I bet it's probably going to be better in Venezuela than in El Salvador. I'm sure the Venezuelan government also wants to like look good and look like it's rescuing its own people and standing up for them. So I'm sure they'll also like make sure that at least some of them are freed back and return to their families and shit like that. To look good and to look like you know they're standing up for the people of Venezuela. So it's interesting, right? It feels like a little bit of a bittersweet story. I feel a little bit conflicted over it. Hopefully it does end up being for the best. Um, I am glad for the American prisoners that were freed from this. That's good. And hopefully most of the Venezuelans who were freed from CECOT, uh, particularly the ones that aren't actual gang members and haven't committed any serious offenses. I hope that they're able to find their freedom as well. So yeah, a huge development in this story, uh, and yeah, uh, I'll keep you guys updated if any new if anything else comes from this. So yeah.
Hey everyone, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can make this channel grow. This has been Revolution Television, where the revolution is televised. Peace.